All right, folks, it is my pleasure to let you know that we have not just Ripple flipping the switch with another CBDC announcement coming out here today, but we also have the XRP Ledger Validators flipping the switch as well, with 9 validators officially flipping their vote to yes on the AMM, the automated market maker. Some may call it the automated money maker. We're so excited to be able to leverage our XRP DeFi coming to the XRPL. This is what we need. Now, this is the updated vote tally. We have 9 yes votes. We're still a long ways away from reaching that 80% consensus, but we were at about, 5 or 6, and it looks like we got a few just within the past 48 hours. So this is breaking, this is live, and we'll see how quickly this starts to snowball from here and just how soon we could get AMMs on the XRPL. Remember, when it comes to automated market makers, many people understand what this is, but what makes this different over here with the XRPL AMM, just one of many things that makes it different, is that this is going to be a layer 1 AMM. So because the XRPL already has a DEX built into it, we can launch native AMM on the XRPL without having to make it on a layer 2. So with Ethereum and all the different DeFi protocols that were built on top of Ethereum through the ERC20 protocols, you have tens of thousands of tokens that were created, a lot of them with no utility, and many of them, that's where the AMM was built in. And as you saw, 90% of those went bust, went to zero, were just essentially decentralized Ponzi schemes. Now, we're going to have to be careful here with the XRPL, because remember, anybody can issue a token and anybody's going to be able to create a liquidity pool. Doesn't mean that we should necessarily delegate our XRP towards that liquidity pool. We're going to have to watch this thing get built out. I'm definitely not going to be the first one to dip my toes in that water, but I'm going to be watching it closely, and I will be ready to deploy some XRP towards these liquidity pools. With the XRPL DEX, right, this is a decentralized exchange that's built into the XRPL. We have this on our layer 1, not on layer 2s. And so this is going to be so great for the XRPL because it's going to create sustainable liquidity pools for us to delegate our XRP towards, or other assets. Now, the beautiful thing, and I talked about this with Vet last weekend, we ran up a long Twitter space. It was like 4 hours long. But if you want to go back and listen to it, it's still on my Twitter. It was recorded. The first hour of it was an exchange between me and Vet, one of the validators who just, switched his vote to yes here today for the AMMs. We talked about the clawback amendment, which is going to be crucial because when, central banks, when other banks, institutions, or businesses want to launch a stable coin or issue an asset on the XRPL, they're going to want one particular feature, which is the clawback feature, the ability to bring a payment back. It's necessary for payments. It's necessary for a lot of jurisdictions and the regulations. And so once we get the clawback, that's going to allow more issuers to come to the XRPL. I mean, think of SBI Holdings out of Japan, right? They love Ripple. They own, 10% of Ripple. They own a significant amount of Ripple and have been a big believer in the XRPL. Someone like SBI could come issue a digital yen on the XRPL, right? Or a company like Tranglo, which already is firing up ODL XRP, they could come issue the Philippine peso on the XRPL. So we want reputable issuers to build solid issued assets on the XRPL, whether that's digital yen, whether that's Philippine peso, you name the currency, right? You name the country. We have on-demand liquidity already live in 40 plus countries. And my speculation is that after we see the clawback, we're going to see more issuers come to the XRPL. And for the liquidity pools, we're going to want to build those out with the ODL corridors. So there's 40 plus countries. You have MFS Africa, which has now actually changed their name, but that's the company that is doing ODL in Africa in 40 plus countries inside of Africa. Essentially, ODL is live across the whole continent of Africa already. And what gets exciting is you get companies like MFS Africa maybe issuing, some of those native currencies within that continent. And this is where we start to build out more liquidity pools, and where Ripple, along with their ODL partners, can move a lot of volume at once to these liquidity pools to build out that sustainability. So when you first go into new AMMs, there's not much liquidity, and it's easy for that liquidity to get pulled. And basically that's what, many of these rug pulls that were created on top of Ethereum were decentralized Ponzi schemes, all rug pulls. And, the returns that were promised were insane, right? 80,000% on your time wonderland. How'd that program work out, right? Along with 90% of the DeFi protocols built on top of Ethereum that went to absolutely zero, right? It was a cute little program for a little bit until they pulled all the liquidity and rug pulled you, and you're caught holding the bag. That can still happen on the XRPL AMMs that are going to be created here, but I believe it's going to be less likely because we have more legitimate players building on top of the XRPL, and the impermanent loss is still there on the XRPL, but it's easier to get out of an asset or out of a trade because the XRPL settles in 3 to 5 seconds. And as long as you don't delegate towards a very illiquid asset, you should be good. Now, there's absolutely, it's not risk free by any standard, but understand what they're building out here with the AMM is going to be the tightest liquidity pairs and the tightest margin between two different currencies. And this is where you source out the best liquidity in the world. This is the technical functions that you need on our ledger. With a ledger that already settles in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost, this is where we really build this out. It gets super tight. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just throwing out, oh, we're going to source the best liquidity in the world. That's not just something I'm throwing out. This is the technical feature that actually allows us to do so. We have a DEX already built onto the XRPL. You get the automated market maker. You get the clawback feature, and you get more legitimate companies, banks, institutions building on top of the XRPL and issuing assets on top of the XRPL. And this is where we start to fire up serious amounts of liquidity on the XRPL. And it's a beautiful time to be in the XRP Ledger community because we have clarity for XRP in and of itself not being a security. But then we also have an understanding here that additional utility is coming to the XRPL right now. First, it was NFTs. And remember, it took about 2 years for NFTs to pass. We're already well ahead of the game with the AMMs. And it seems like we have an urgency in the validator community and within the XRP Ledger community that's now looking at the validators like, what the heck, man? Why aren't you voting for the AMM? We want to get rich, which a lot of folks need to come back down to reality and understand this isn't going to make us rich, but it is going to allow us to leverage our XRP and other assets on top of the XRPL in a beautiful way, which will provide passive income. And that is exciting. But we got to give validators time to run through the testing, run through the code, go break it, and find the breaking points and the vulnerabilities. And then after doing that, then we can flip our vote to yes. And so I thought that it was a big testament today to have Vet changing his vote to a yes vote. He has, very, very, a lot of respect within the XRPL validator community. And then also in the broader XRP community that's just holding my XRP tokens, hoping and praying that it's going to be a reserve currency, right? What I'm excited to do as well is to get involved in here in the validation process and also issuing assets on top of the XRPL along with NFTs too. We have a lot of plans in the work, but we've been waiting for this clarity on XRP. We got it. Now we wait for regulations in the United States as well, but it's very clear. We have legal clarity. Now we're going to have additional utility. And this is where we get a flourishing XRPL ecosystem. On top of the news that I just announced here earlier today as well, that Ripple's announced another CBDC going live on the private version of the XRPL, the CBDC platform. And Ripple reminds us it's the award-winning CBDC platform. They're doing, the National Bank of Georgia is doing the GEL. I think it's called the digital lari is what the tokens or the currency is called. Okay. But this is CBDCs going live. And then this is also, we saw the Zahal ledger going live. So that's retail utility being built out, along with central bank wholesale payment utility and liquidity being built out. It's the best of both worlds with full legal clarity. Do you think that I'm a little bit excited, with everything that's taking place to be in the XRP community? You're right. Do you think I'm excited about 62-cent XRP this morning? Yes, but I've been sharing my technical analysis market update. I'll be dropping another one where I break that down further. So make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Really helps us when you smash it, or if you react to it. Either way, I don't care. I'm going to be breaking it down further on where this market goes from here. But we love to see for XRP back up to 62 cents, Bitcoin breaking above 35K once again last night. I'm remaining patient. I'm remaining liquid. And for right now, we get to start building. This is the beautiful thing. We don't have to just sit, wait, and pray every day that XRP is going to the moon. We get to be start of that process of building value within this ecosystem. I'm excited to go and bring you guys on the journey with me. If you appreciate what we're doing, make sure you react to this video, and then everything else should be at my website, zachrector.com. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.